Water is one of the most important resources found on Earth. And actually only 1% of the water that's found on Earth can actually be consumed by humans. Today, we're going to explore that by creating our own water filters. We'll be using those water filters to filter out some dirty water. So, we're going to go step by step, and this filtration system is going to give you a small glimpse of how actual large-scale filtration systems work, and also how our aquifers work. So, let's jump into the project. All right, let's start by gathering all of our materials. First, you're going to need a water bottle. Make sure you rinse it out, and it's ready to go. You're going to need 2 cups. In my case, I'm using 2 mason jars. A coffee filter. I'm using a biodegradable one, but you can use a standard coffee filter. And you're going to need a little bit of sand and some small pebbles or rocks. In my case, I'm using a little bit of gravel that I found. So walk around your neighborhood or go into your backyard and see what you can find. You're also going to need a pair of scissors and a box cutter, which an adult should help you with. And last but not least, you'll need a little bit of tape. So let's start off with a little help from an adult. You're going to take your water bottle and an X-Acto knife or box cutter, and you're going to make a small incision at the top. You just want to pierce through the bottle. Once you're done with that, students, you can take over and grab a pair of scissors, and you're going to easily cut along the edge, and you're going to remove the top part of the bottle. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. You have your bottle that's been cut, and we're ready to install our filter. So, we're going to need a coffee filter, and you're going to need to place it inside of your cut bottle. But before you do that, we're going to have to create some holes here at the bottom in order for the water to drain. So, with the help of an adult, let's get to work. All right, so we're going to take our bottle again and the box cutter, and we're going to make a small incision. Adults, you can help with this part. Then students can take over again with the scissors, and you'll create either one large hole in the middle of the bottle, or you can make several small holes. For my example here, I'm just cutting out one large circle right in the middle of the bottle. It's a little bit easier and allows for the best drainage. So you remove it, and there it is. So now you're going to take your coffee filter, and you're going to insert it into your bottle, okay? And you'll just push it in as far as it can go, and making sure that there's a little bit left over at the top so that you can fold it over the bottle, and we're going to use a little bit of tape to secure that. Okay, that feels pretty good. If you want it to be super secure, you can take one long strip and just kind of wrap it around the bottle like this. That coffee filter ain't going anywhere. All right, so now that we've constructed the main structure of our water filter, we're going to add some of the more important elements. We're going to add some sand and some small stones or pebbles that are actually going to help the water filter. So, using some sand that I found around my neighborhood, I'm filling up my water filter about halfway. Now, what you don't want to do is pack in your sand too tightly. You want to make sure that the water is able to go through your filter. So, make sure your sand is dry and that you're just kind of dumping it in. See, that looks about right. All right, so now let's switch over to the small pebbles. You're going to scoop in some small pebbles almost to the top of your water filter. Now, the purpose of the sand and the pebbles is that they work a lot like a food strainer. They're going to allow the water to go through your filter while holding back larger pieces of debris or dirt. Let's add one more scoop, and that looks about right. Now that your filter is almost ready, you can add one little extra touch. The more stones that there are inside of your filter, the more filtration for the water. So if you have a couple of rocks, you can go outside in your backyard, or if you go out for a walk and you find some bigger stones, you can even layer a few right on top. just to give your water filter that extra layer, just like that. So now we're gonna grab some dirty water and we're gonna test our project. Let's do it.
Time to test our water filter. As you can see, I've set everything out that I need. My water filter, an empty jar, which the clean water will go into, a jar full of soiled water, which I'll test, and of course a rag, which I'm going to use in case I make a mess. I'm going to grab some tape and I'm going to secure the water filter to my clean jar. Because it has sand and gravel, it might be a little bit heavy. I want to make sure that it doesn't topple over. So a few pieces of Scotch tape are going to secure it nicely to my jar. And that feels good. We'll just put 2 more around it to make sure that it doesn't go anywhere. And perfect. Okay, I think we're ready to test it. So, it's nice and secure. My clean jar doesn't have any water in it. I'll put it into position and I'll slowly start to pour the soiled water into my filter. As you can see, the water's running through the coffee filter that's holding the sand and the gravel. And what's pouring out at the bottom is water that's missing the debris and dirt. All right, it seems like the filter's working. So keep pouring the rest of the water into your water filter. You'll notice that a lot of the dirt and debris is getting caught at the top of your filter. That means that it's working. Let's pour the rest of it in, and let's check our results.
So now that you've had a chance to test your water filter, there's an important step. It's called cleaning up. So any mess that you've made, make sure that you clean up. Don't leave that work just for your parents. As you can see, our water filter, while not perfect, and this water is definitely not drinkable, our water filter was able to get rid of a lot of the big and larger pieces of dirt and debris that were in our dirty water. I'm sure that if you were to filter this a few more times, the water would get a little more clear. In fact, that's a great test for you to try out. Run the water that you filtered through the same filtration system a few more times to see if it gets a little bit more clear. So, how do water filters work?
Well, like I mentioned earlier, our water filters work a lot like a food strainer. As your soiled water goes through the water filter, it captures different sized pieces of debris or dirt. The pebbles capture the larger pieces, and then as it goes through the sand captures the smaller, more refined pieces of dirt or debris, and then your purified water comes out the other end. One thing that we didn't try was using activated carbon or activated charcoal. This is something that you can try at home, but that further cleans water.
Thanks for checking out the video. We did some really cool work today and created some awesome water filters. Remember to continue testing these out and making changes. Use design thinking as a way to prototype and test your work and then try it all over again. And remember, think creatively and think critically. Thanks for watching and make sure you check out the rest of the videos.